Welcome to Black Love Matters, a service of therapy session for figuring out adulthood,
loving each other,
or finding Aaron and Brock and Michelle,
or Jay-Z and Beyonce. Or this episode, we're going to go with Adelaide and Gabe Wilson, or depending on the damn day, we're going to go with Red and Abraham. Did y'all see Us's?
Us's?
Us's? That's Loops, and that's Duke Winston ass.
Loops and dupes.
Loops and Dukes. Adelaide and Gabe. Gabe gets on my fucking nerves. We'll talk about it. See, you know what? We love you all. So we'll talk about it without giving away spoilers, because we know some of you niggas didn't get to the movies this weekend and you need to get to it. Mm-hmm. Gabe got on my damn nerves. I can say that without giving away too much of the movie. Adelaide, I honestly didn't trust her from the beginning when she was snapping off beat. But that Red, I said, how you messed the beat on? Got 5 on it on the chopped and screwed version. You literally wait for the beat. It's not like it's a double time church. You know, church, you do double clap. Ain't none of that. Uh-huh. It was literally dun-dun-dun. Like, she missed it. And that's also some good acting. And then can we talk about Red with that voice, Lupita and that voice? I just want to know. How does she do it?
I just want to know.
Oh shit, bitch. And then Abraham and Gabe. Honestly, I don't think they were shadows of each other.
Why?
Who is you?
I'm Neil.
And I'm Nyambi.
And this is episode 235, y'all.
Hey.
Happy Monday. Be sure to leave a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and on Stitcher, and follow us on all forms of social media at Black Love Matters. That's Black with no K. What's going on with you?
Not much. I know a few of y'all been asking us to talk about politics, and we will. Maybe Wednesday you want to make it a political episode?
Yes.
Because we know that it's 101 people running for president. We got Bento. Is Joe in there? Is Stacey Abrams? I'm not sure. It's just a lot of people running for. It's the Asian man who talking about he don't believe in circumcision. It's the white woman who's talking about reparations. Like, it's just a lot going on in the Democratic Party. And I have not paid one bit. Honestly, after what Corey came in and said that he running for president and he loves women's, I kind of was to the step back. You ain't get that vibe? Like, Corey really ain't never been seen with women, and all of a sudden when he running for president, now he's dating a movie star. Like, if that don't spell beard, I don't know what else.
If that don't...
What you do? Corey, you either like men's or you're not in a relationship. Either one is okay. You're busy. Either one is okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I know we haven't talked about it. We will. And also we know on today, look, Sunday, that Mueller report came out talking about that Trump ain't have no conspiracy with Russia. White people believe, they stick together. Even when they don't like each other. Like, this is 101, I got you. This is 101 white boy fraternity loyalty bullshit we talking about. Because let this been Obama and some of his niggas. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have to be a report.
Wow, exactly.
They would have been like them niggas on 48 hours. Hour 46.
What you talking about?
Man. This literally been going on for almost 4 years. Some of these white boys ain't cracked. Some of them did. But not the majority. Not enough of them cracked to have reasonable evidence. A few of them broke, right? But not enough.
Cohen's was spilling all the teas.
Not enough.
That was going to be enough.
No, you got to have more than one person corroborating that. So you need other people to be like, I too remember him doing this. And everybody else, they ain't say he did or he didn't. They just didn't fucking remember what day it was.
I do not recall.
I don't
recall.
Here or there. Is the sky blue?
I don't recall.
So they played that game, right? So don't think we don't see that, y'all. It's just... we got to get energy to talk about politics. Because when I talk about politics, I want to be really thoughtful. But yeah, so many people running for president. This Mueller report. And Kamala's still talking about release the whole port. Sis, if that AG ain't doing nothing, them white boys just going to listen. It's just like at universities or corporate America when they have town hall meetings. They're not going to do nothing.
That don't mean shit. It's not even town hall. It's a bitch fest. It's there.
Venti. They're just allowing you to get your shit out, and then you can then go back to work or
go back home or whatever.
Or leave. We really don't care because we have people paying to come here. Yeah. And bribing nowhere. So, so we will talk about that, y'all. We promise. What's some other stuff going on with me? Church was a word this weekend, right? Because I felt as if it was a restful weekend physically, but not emotionally or mentally, right? And really unpacking what that meant. And the pastor's word was on pride, right? And like it made me examine my relationship with pride and the ego and my humanity and am I diving into my humility as much as I should, right? Like it was just an on-time word, right? It went back to, we talked about this on the podcast, that prosperity and success is horrible teachers, right? Like, of course you want these things, but if you're looking from wisdom, foresight, thoughtfulness, mindfulness, those aren't the things you look towards, right? And he kind of just to give y'all a brief overview, I'm not going to go too deep into it, just in case y'all need a word too. It's this idea that we didn't pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? But I think that's something that I was confident that I say, right? Like I am not here because of me. I am here because of the Lord. All of this is a big picture, right? And us, especially being in Silicon Valley, we have a lot of people who are achievers, a lot of air quote made people, a lot of folks who created themselves from nothing, a lot of folks they like to call themselves out here misfits, right? It's the misfits and understoods in Silicon Valley that either had a big idea that at the time whoever they with thought it was too big, or they went rogue, right? And them going rogue, there was no choice for them to create their own stuff, right? So you get this idea of just do what you got to do, and you'll pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But he even said, right, it doesn't believe if you believe in God, Muhammad, Buddha, energies of the universe, right? God gave you those boots, right? If you even go to the basis of asking for, you've been pulled up by your bootstraps, who gave you the fucking boots to even do, who gave you the boots to even pull yourself up by those bootstraps, right? And it went on to even talk about like this idea of what pride is, right? And the idea that God is not against your success, right? But the thing is, you can't lose your mind with pride, because my pastor described pride as one, temporary insanity, right? So meaning that you think you this good, that all the work, you think you this good, this smart, this pretty, this funny, this flashy to be in this space that you're in now, right? Like, so you think you created this whole universe to be what you are. So basically you think you godlike.
Right.
So you think this trajectory that you want is all you, which I was like, I had to take a second there and think about that, right?
You want to make God laugh, you make a plan.
Come on, right? And then he was even going to say pride kick in when we have these plans and we followed, and Lord, we doing this and this is the plan. And then God was like, oh, but I need you to go left. And you end up going left because God is all, right, all encompassing. And you be like, what in the Jesus? Why is it going wrong? And then you end up worrying, and worrying is like paying interest on a bill that's not through, right? And this goes back to this idea that we're not as important as we think we are. But anyway, going back to pride. So pride is this idea of insanity, right? So it's almost that ego taking over. Like, you created it. This is the plan. This is how you have to go on it. And then the next piece of it, pride comes from a place of control. So you constantly, that insanity is bred and fed through control, right? If you do this, that will happen. If I don't do this, this will happen, right? But then what happens if you do all the things you're supposed to do and stuff still go wrong, right? It's that idea of why do bad things happen to good people, right? And unpacking that. And then the last thing, this is actually something me and Nia talks about all the time, right? This idea of pride is also a source of spiritual plagiarism. Right. So it's going back to that bootstrap thing. Well, I got here. I did this. Hold on. Last time I checked, the Lord got you. Right. I remember when I got this job, I need to go back to listen to other podcasts and saying, child, I don't know how I got here, because the Lord must have been my reference, filled out the application, interviewed me, worked in HR, then proceeded to transfer to comps. After he was in compensation, then he went over to orientation. Then after orientation, I think he transferred to be the manager in my department and then became my mentor, honey. Because I don't know how I got here, right? Me and Miriam was talking about this job, right? Because, being out in Silicon Valley, and I'll let you speak your truth on it, Miriam, man. You're like, Miriam has gotten firm conversations with my parents, friends who love us, right? About kind of, what you're doing, what does it look like? Because Miriam is definitely more on an entrepreneurial, non-traditional track, right? I think I can say that, right? Yeah. And I think what you said is like, how I'm supposed to look like, and you got this job. And I think I was like, oh, well, the Lord, he's like, I think I did everything I'm supposed to do, like to get the job I'm supposed to get and move forward. Like I did the things you told me to. I was like, oh, but how I got my job is through the Lord. Like he my direct connect, right? Like that's I'm here because this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at this time, right? And it goes back to this idea of gratefulness, right? That no matter what you're going through, it doesn't matter, and that served a purpose. And also even thinking about that, right? We're not as important as we think we are, right? So the things that are magnified on earth are seen as wasp in the air, like, nets in the air, if you think about the grand scheme of all things, right? So I even had to work through the situation I was going, because at the moment, like, I feel like that was the center of my universe. And I still have moments where I come back to that, where now I'm to the point where it's like, child, I don't give two fill in the blank of what done happened and why, because thank God it happened, because I'm here. Right. Because one of two things happened, right? The Lord placed me where I need to be professionally, put me in a different financial space and spiritual spot, and it did a great job of completely relinquishing a whole segment of people in my life. Like, literally, in doing this move and going this transition in like the last couple of years, I've completely went from an abundant circle of people to literally maybe 4 or 5 people.
Smaller than an Oreo.
And God was like, "Oh, you're not gonna do it? That's okay. I'll clean your circle up. This is who you need to be around, and not good or bad, right? Those people aren't good, bad, or like all the people I surround myself, I believe, are great people. But were we serving each other at that time? Were we in the broader scheme of things for what God wanted us to serve for each other or Him? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Right, and that's just a different way of thinking about it, right? I don't want to come from that thing of like the God done remove the enemies, forget them niggas. I don't even think it was like that, right? I think the Lord was like, I have a different plan for you. I have a plan for them. And the way y'all going together, the plan ain't coming together.
It ain't working.
So let's just cut this out, right? That's how I viewed it.
And it kind of reminds me of the conversation that we had, like, I don't know if you remember this, when I was like, babe, we're going to have to lose everything to get through this. And you was in the bed like, we got to lose everything? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. So I'm already there. Like, we've already lost everything. Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take you to get there, but we're going to have to lose everything to get back and to bounce back, to get to the other place. To
get to the glory, right? Yeah. To the place of holy. You have to lose everything.
Like, do you remember that conversation?
I absolutely remember that. And I was just thinking like, well, why? And I have this and that. Again, that was that pride. Oh, so I think I know better than what the Lord got in stand for me. Okay, well, let me show you some more what I can do. What is it? Let's go back to us as again. Jeremiah 11:11. Oh, okay, you don't listen to what I do. Okay, let me just show you how I can do this. If you don't listen, right? Let me just take you on the journey. I can go on, and it's just getting to this place of like, oh, pride shows up in so many different ways, right? I think when we think of pride, we think tied to arrogance, and I think it is too, right? But I think there's very subtle ways that pride shows up and is supported in our day-to-day lives, personally and professionally, right? It's like coded in I don't know, well-doing or wanting to do well. Yeah. And it's another level that I didn't even think like, oh man, that was my pride, right? When I thought of pride, I thought it was more tied into like, oh, I did this alone. I don't need nobody else. I'm here. And that wasn't the space I was coming from. But it was this sense of control. Like, I think that's what I was tied to. That was the pride for me. I was tied to this area of control to be like, well, Lord, I did X, Y, and Z. Why are we? And God was like, how dare you even ask? Like, who, ma'am? That's what he said. Ma'am, who? First of all, ma'am, who are you?
Who are you?
Second of all, have I ever led you astray? So what are you even challenging me for, right? So that's something that really stuck home to me. And some of the other points, I'm sorry, I don't want to take up this much space, y'all, but how he even says that most arguments or downfalls in marriages and or relationships is rooted in pride too. So that idea of folks that's willing, to kind of go through insanity, prove themselves right, wrong, they did it only one way, right? The sense of control, right? Spiritual plagiarism. Like, for you to even think your marriage is on, if you're in a long-term relationship, marriage, whatever, grace-based covenant, and y'all in a good space, if you all think you did that alone, that's crazy.
But I wouldn't even say just, relationship, or I would say all relationships. Yeah. In general. Because, I feel like this is something that me and Nia like had conversations about a long time ago, to say like, brother, like, you don't have to argue them up and down to prove that you're right. Like, you just need to take the satisfaction that you're right. But it's like, brother, they wrong. And if I'm a good Christian, I'm supposed to let them know that they wrong and help them change. It's like, no. That ain't your job. That ain't your job. No. Like, it's just taking the satisfaction.
It's only one way.
Yeah. The satisfaction.
And the way is through him. Right. Not through you.
Right. And it's taking that satisfaction to know, like, well, okay, I know they wrong. and moving forward, and like sometimes
and love them anyway.
And love them anyway. Because sometimes, like most of the times, like I don't argue with people because it's like I say something and they be like, no, and I'm like, okay, don't worry about it.
There's okay. Way. Okay.
We ain't got debated.
We don't got to get to the point of where it's discussed, and where it's hate and it's bot. Yeah. We don't got to get to that point. And then also, of course, we got to give you some tips, right? So how do you work through this pride, right? And it's the idea of cultivating humility. Right. So what is the shadow or the opposite of pride? It's the idea of humility, right? So the idea that when you're in a place of humility, your goal is always to bring out the best of folks, right? You don't blame. And when wrong happens, right, it's that idea of looking inward and not always outward. And when good happens, it's looking outward, right? See, it's the difference, right? Usually it's the opposite. When something good happens, oh, look at me. I must have just walked on water, honey, like the Jesus, honey. I done brought the ship like Noah. But when it's bad happen, them niggas.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the idea of reversing that to say, okay, this happened negatively. And not necessarily owning all the blame, but at least going through to say, well, where did I play a part in this?
And what it sounds like, truthfully, is just extreme accountability.
Yeah.
And taking accountability for your own actions, right? When you're saying looking inward.
Come on.
It's really about just being accountable.
Being accountable, right? And looking out for the best in others. And Niram, what I want to do is give you a shout out to this, right? Because it's taken these many years, right? And even I might owe you an apology for this, right? So I think about Niram, and y'all have heard us talk about the Kwanzaa crew. We had, I don't know if we even talked about this on the podcast, but we had it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And we had, it wasn't a blow up, but it was definitely like a black Kwanzaa. Like where we just, Mercury must have been a retrograde. Everyone was just in their own feelings, going through stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, there's no hate, right? Like, we ain't the type of folks who fight and move in front of. We're not that, right? But we will share our choice and words of how we feel, and we all have strong energy. So if you know someone's disappointed, it's not one of them things just like, child, I didn't even know you was mad. Oh, like from just when the door opens. You're like, oh, so it's not a good day. We're all like 3-year-olds. So it's like, oh, it's not a good day today. Okay, go sit in the corner if it's not a good day, right? So that's the energy we bring. And I remember something Niram did was we have it wasn't even during Kwanzaa. It was like follow-ups. And we kind of follow up to kind of reflect on Kwanzaa, maybe a month out to say where we're at and what we're doing. And we're all distantly. So we're on Skype. And I'm trying to hold the conversation on our end. And Niram was like, honestly, niggas, I'm not feeling us. I'm not feeling our energy. I feel like we off. I feel like y'all come. He went to people. It was like, I feel like this is what you're looking for in this situation. I don't know if we friends. I gotta go. And I was like, what the fuck is your problem, Niram? Like, Jesus, these are our people, right? Like, they're like-minded young black people, right? Like, we're building it. We're friends with still 80%, 80, 90, 92. First, we're friends, good blood between all of us now, right? But maybe the closeness is not, the closest probably there with maybe 80% of the closest there, maybe the other 20%, not as much. But if they will call, email, text, need anything, we will be there, of course. Right? That's our relationship we have. But in that moment, I was looking at Niram like, God, Niram, dude, what? Was that necessary to say, right? Was that not needed? Was that, why? Why? We're just doing an hour fucking check-in. You couldn't hold it together for 1 hour, because I'm a firm believer that time heals all wounds. So by the time we get to our 3 months, because we'll talk to each other monthly and we'll try to see each other quarterly. So by the time we see each other quarterly, we'll be all right, right? You don't. But Niram was like, no, I have to say something, right? I have to do this. And what struck me home with this is that it tied into arrogance that I had, right? And not only me, but some other folks, because even folks come and say, what the fuck is wrong with Niram? And I was like, shit, I love him, but I don't know. Yeah, he was wrong for that one. Y'all know I ride for Niram, but when he wrong, he wrong. And I'll say it, right? That's something in our relationship that you don't have to, if either one of us think the other one's wrong, don't get us wrong. We ride for each other, but we ain't the one to put pretty shit on it. To be like, oh, was Niram angry? I didn't see. No, I'm like, yeah, that nigga was in his cancer feelings. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Right? I don't agree. I love him, but I don't agree with it. But thinking in hindsight now, myself and the others, we were caught, if you go by the pastor definition, in an arrogance form of mind. And you were coming from a humility in a humble place, right? Because arrogant people, we get caught up in people pleasing, right? So why didn't I want you to say that? Because I didn't want other folks to get a negative impression of you, me, or us, or our relationship, or that has shifted, right? So in actuality, I was looking for the betterment of me, right? Where if you're a humble person, you want the best for others.
Right.
Where doing the best for others sometimes is telling them your truth. Right? So it's no confusion on how I feel, why I feel it, where it came from. Right? Now, if we have this strong relationship like we did with the majority of folks on the phone call, after they received that, they care about your relationship and connection. And I would say the majority came to you and was like, individually, was like, hey, Niram, you say you really ain't fuck with me. I kind of want to fuck with you. Like, where did I go wrong? I'm sorry. I apologize. Right? But there was this population who didn't.
Yeah.
Right? And that was very clear.
It was.
Right? But still nothing wrong with that. Right? But it was a sense of truth there. And no disservice was done. Right? Where if we would have went the opposite direction that I was more in, and I was more in my ego, my pride, my arrogance, and just pretended, right, that things were okay or stuff didn't bother you, no telling where that could have spiraled to. Or the toxicity that could have built. Right? We even could be in a space where we wouldn't even be on good terms. Right? Because the toxicity is just so thick. But instead of focusing on the well-being of others, right? You know what I'm saying? And the relationship and honesty and transparency and holding truth to those core values, I preferred to take the easier route, which was people-pleasing. Right? And doing the right thing, that was a social norm. Right? And I think a lot of time when we think of humility, we think of the person who just keeps the peace and keeps it mellow. But that's not
not humility.
Humility. Right? That could be a form of arrogance, right? Because it's easy. It's tied to people pleasing. And so, like, you know, I'm just even, as he was speaking, that just rung true to be an example of this idea of pride and how it manifests itself in many different ways. And it's not always that explicit, put a stake in somebody's back, crabs in the barrel. Because that's when I think of pride. That's what I think of, right? And that's not us at all, right? That's not us or the people we surround ourselves with. So I'm like, no, that ain't something I really deal with pride. But if you really unpack the layers, that's the superficial level of pride. But if you really pull back the onions and the layers, what pride is and how it manifests, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to work through some pride. I got to work through some arrogance, right? I have to work on my humility. And not only am I near him, I don't think we good. I think we good, right? I think we share everything we need to share in our relationship. However, when I think of some of my direct reports, right? Like, I think I've been beating around the bush on some topics, and I need to come from a place of humility with them and just be honest and transparent. Some friends that I might just haven't returned phone calls to, I just need to be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is the energy you bringing to me. I ain't saying we can't be friends forever, but just maybe don't call me for a month. Because it's how I'm feeling. So it was a word that I wanted to run to the stage and write a check and say, thank you for your service, Pastor. Because you have, he hit me. Like, after this word, I'm almost 90% sure I'm going to join the church.
Okay.
Because he hit, like, I don't think I've been to a service where they've unpacked pride in that way. I think they've unpacked it in other ways, but ways really to get you to look at yourself, to hold the mirror up, it's been a while. And I'm like, I know I need to work on forgiveness and like other stuff, but I honestly thought I was good with pride. And I ain't. I thought I was good.
Nah.
Like, I really thought, like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best, right? But I thought I'm okay with the humble bus, right? I've been through some stuff, right?
Yeah, you can go through some stuff, but I don't know.
And that's still not humble. Jesus, Lord, help me,
still
Lord.
Not be
Lord,
humble.
I don't need no more lessons. I got it. I'm working through it right now.
You go through some stuff and still not be humble.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that some nigga shit?
Yes.
Po ass still not humble. Don't got nothing.
Like, how you go through some shit and still not be humble?
Because God is awesome.
You done been through the depths of hell, and he came back, and you still ain't humble.
Look, and God like, is this the same nigga? Is this nigga the same? And I want to say, but amongst everybody, right? Like, I'm working on my humility, and even just to go back, and I'm gonna wrap this up, right? None of this, the Black Love podcast, my job, my health, why I'm here, me talking, none of these thoughts are mine. This is all the Lord, right? I think it goes back to even to my thought and my word of the year, abundance, right? I just want to be the abundance. I want to be the light that, like, I just need to be a light. I even had this conversation with you, Niram, this weekend, because, you know, we have pillow talk in bed, and I was charged to do something at work and build a curriculum on, like, my managing style. And I'm thankful I said it this way. And I, like, after I kept talking and saying all the things I do, And Aaron was like, well, how do you quantify that? And I was like, honestly, I don't know how to quantify this, right? Like, I'm just trying to do the Lord's work. Like, I don't know how to go in the room and tell people, love the Lord. Love the Lord. Love something that's more than yourself. That's how I manage.
Right.
That is the lens I use to manage, loving the Lord. Right. So I need to maybe get on my knees and ask the Lord how he would like me to use him in this framework in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know how to quantify that. I cannot put a logic model onto being a person. Like, love. I keep saying loving the Lord, right? I don't even want to say a Christian, right? To loving the Lord, to having a personal relationship with God and knowing that everything I do is bigger than me. Mm-hmm. So therefore, when Tommy pisses me off at work, no, it doesn't get to me as bad. Right? Grace and mercy. The Lord done forgive me for all this. I can forgive Tommy for that petty ass email. Right? So I don't know. I'm working through it, y'all. But that's what I got. I done talked too much. Now, what you think about that? And you can go on your check-in, honey. Is that too much?
No. You know, I think I was a little surprised that you... was that an apology for...
let me do it formally, because I'm humble.
I didn't know.
Nero, I apologize for telling you or asking you or being targeted and saying, why can't you just do right? And I think I maybe said that you be selfish and you do a lot of other choice words. I apologize for that and dimming your light when you were just trying to shine light onto us and other people. You were ahead of the game, and now we are all up to date. Mm-hmm. So don't ever again dim your light or your feelings for anybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I affirm your apology. And I accept it.
Thank you.
And you know, just something, but maybe that's one of the reasons. That's one of the ways you can go at it. We talk to your coworkers and say like, we need to show a little bit more humble humility. Yeah. Period. Right. And just know that, you know, we work at this big ass company or whatever,
which is cute, but still.
But we still need to be humble in this whole shit, because our ass can be right up in here in Tent City.
Come on,
with the wrong fucking move.
The wrong move. And you better be grateful for that.
Right.
Because if some folks ain't in Tent City, honey,
right,
they is not with the Lord. Because as Nia said, he going to be with the Lord. And some folks in that casket ain't going to be with the Lord. We ain't going to meet no more. Right? It's always be grateful. Maybe I'm going to have to do some acronym with humility or humble. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where I'll do. Because they want me to combine this idea of humility, not humility, of diversity and equity in managing. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like? Yeah. Because those philosophies have been kind of separate in my company. And I argued, right, that they should be combined. Yeah. In everything that we do, in managing, in reviews. And so my director, the boss, you know, you got to put two bosses over. It was like, I too agree. Yeah. Get that done. And I was like, wait a minute. Hey. Look at me. Wait. I even went to Neil and be like, do I bag out? And be like, I'm just playing. I like this style. But I know I can't. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So for me, my check-in, you know, I really don't have much. But,
Nero, you okay?
Just being.
You're talking like Adelaide.
So
is you a Tablet?
While we doing this, I literally just came back from running 18 miles. I ran the Oakland Running Festival, I think, in Oakland. So it was the and I did what they call like the We Run the Town Challenge, which was a 5K and then a half marathon ran afterwards. So and that was great because I needed that. It ended up being like 18 miles total, and like that's what I needed for my long run this week anyway.
Perfect timing.
So it just kind of worked that way, and it was a good run to like just shake out the cockabugs and just get myself in order, and literally get back and focus for this race season that I have, because you know I do have a lot of big races coming up, and you know I really just want to be prepared, and I want to give my best effort. You know, while dealing with, like, I won't say nagging energies, but like little niggles here and there and things of that sort, right?
What you call them?
Niggles.
I was going to say niggas.
No, niggles.
So, you know, niggas be everywhere.
Speaking of niggas, so, and this is something that, you know, I was talking to Naomi about before we got on the podcast, is that, you know, running the Oakland Half, the Oakland 5K, and like witnessing the Oakland Marathon go on, was like the closest thing to me, like running Detroit Marathon. And what I mean by that, it was a lot of niggas there.
My favorite.
I kind of felt like home. Like I kind of felt as like at home. Like,
we love black people.
I love black folks. I love being around them.
All types of white people.
And I want to say it gave me a sense of pride, but also it gave me a sense of like comfortness that I haven't had like out running these races, right? And being a black man. So Black Man Run was there, BGR was there, I think even Girl Trek was there. It was other like black running groups there as well. And just to see them and be amongst them and to like be running like throughout the city of Oakland and just see like black police on like almost every corner and shit, right? And like to the point where like I was like, brother, thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping me safe. I just want you to know that. And just having like the sense of joy, right? The sense of joy around it, but also like the sense of pride of like just being around these many black folk, right? And it literally made me feel like I was at home. And this is one of the things, I was talking to Naomi about. I was like, I don't know if like Oakland is a spot for us, but the areas where I was at, like, yeah, it was rough. Like there was tent cities. I seen some nice ass tents. Oh. Like I seen like a 2-bedroom tent, 3-bedroom tent. I didn't even know they had those.
Oh yeah, they do.
That tent was.
I mean, and I think that's the hard part when I think about moving to Oakland, right? Like it being Detroit. Like honestly, the hood don't make me nervous, but I living around the tent city is different for me right now. I'll speak honest and transparent. If I'm not using the right verbiage, y'all just correct me, send me an email or call me. But that's something that I really have to process, right? I think it's a sense of guilt around it, and I don't know how to navigate within it, right? Because in Detroit, it's the hood, right? And even when you think about homeless people in Detroit, you think about people who are on like drugs, like crackheads, or they have some form of mental illness.
Right.
And that's a stereotype, right? And I think I carry that stereotype when I come out here, but out here, that's not the truth, right? Don't get me wrong. Some people are on drugs. Some people do have mental illnesses, but you have like vets who came back, right, and trying to transition in, or people who like literally just down on their luck, right? Like who could have been almost millionaires 2-3 years ago, but lost everything,
right? So
it's even me working through my own pictures and ideas or like and themes of what it means.
The other thing is that like the cost of living here is here
so high.
So if you're not in like the big three or like one of the big companies out here, and say you was living somewhere that wasn't rent control at the time, and the rent shot up $4,000,
what you supposed to do?
Like what you supposed to do?
Yeah.
So like I think about that and like just having that gratefulness, but also just being around like black. Like I was look to my left, look to my right. It was black folks everywhere. Yeah. And like that gave me like, it gave me a little joy.
Yeah, it's not wrong with having joy.
It gave me some joy.
There's a lot of white people where we stay, honey.
It is.
A lot of white
and that's the thing, like it's a lot of white people, it's a lot of Asian people, it's a sprinkle of Latinos or Hispanics or whatever they at, Latinx. Yeah. But like it's very few
not a lot of black people.
Like black people.
Any type of black.
Like
African, continent, Caribbean.
Nothing. So like to really be like running and like talking to folks and like just enjoying the shit, right? And we already like, even though it's different vernacular, we're like we already get it and we get each other. Yeah. And like that just felt good. The racing itself, like it was just 18 miles. Like I had to get it done. You just, it's like eating an elephant. You just do it 1 mile at a time, one bite at a time, whatever. And I got it done. I don't feel as tired. I'm a little sore in a couple places, but I think tomorrow I'll be all right. Probably gonna do cryotherapy.
What's cryotherapy? Have you told the folks what cryotherapy? So that's his white folks, Sean, honey. He just go sit in the freezer.
That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, I know it is. I'm not lying.
So cryotherapy is this form of like, it's pretty much like a stand-up ice bath. So old schoolers, you put a bunch of ice in a tub and you just go sit in there. Yeah. But a cryotherapy is that they cool you down via nitrous. Is it nitrogen? And they put you in this like container and they just put nitrogen in it, right? And you just get cold as hell, and it gives you like the same effect without having to just sit in the ice bath, be cold and shivering, things of that sort. Like with an ice bath, you gotta be in there about 15 to 20 minutes, but with cryotherapy, you can get everything done in like 3 minutes.
Yes.
So it's definitely beneficial. It's definitely some white folk shit, but you know what?
It worked though. I mean, it's science. It's science.
It works. So I'm done with that. But like, we're gonna have to spend more time in Oakland, and even though it's a little far, but I really enjoyed it, and I think you'll enjoy it too.
I think I will enjoy Oakland too. I think I just haven't been. I've only been to downtown gentrified Oakland, and I'll argue it's not all the way gentrified. I only been to gentrified / the hood of downtown Oakland, right? So there's neighborhoods, there's other places to go.
Yeah.
You say you really like Lake Merritt.
Yeah, like the whole Lake Merritt era was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll think about that. No, but I'm up for it because as y'all know, in July, August, we need to find somewhere else to stay, and I don't think we're gonna stay. I don't know. We might 50-50, right? I think we might stay here maybe one more year. Right, and then after that, really spread our wings, or we might just take off now. So I think we have the next couple months to figure out. I think we were more so trying to figure out where Neon was going to land. Yeah, and I think we're going to be doing the entrepreneur thing, but we might want to test it for one more year. So we'll see. Yeah. Pillow talk.
You want to do some pillow talk?
Let's do us without giving no spoilers. So don't worry, y'all don't got to fast forward. You know, usually we don't give a damn about no spoilers.
Sure don't, but I'm still say spoiler alert, niggas.
What? No, don't
just
do
in
that.
case. No, just in case. So if you only want to hear us talk about us, this might be your time to go
just
do something else.
A little bit ahead.
You know, hit fast forward a few times.
Probably about 2 to 3 minutes.
And then go from there.
So us, I liked it. Some of you niggas is being highly critical of us.
Really?
I think niggas is being highly critical. Everybody, it ain't good as Get Out. It won't be. It's just like the first Freddy Krueger. Nothing's better than the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Nothing's better than the first Chucky.
Right.
Nothing's better than the first Saw Scream. I never imagined this to be better than that.
Right. Just like
so you niggas
else.
give Jordan Peele. And I know Jordan ain't necessarily always had the black vote. But he team us.
Right.
Okay? Literally.
The thing is, exactly, you can't knock it out the park every time. But the thing is, he still knocked this out the park.
He did, and that's the thing. Like, I think Get Out was so transformative, right? Because he created a new fucking genre.
Right.
Right? A nigga can't create a new... See, niggas.
Right.
We had to do everything twice as good.
Twice as good.
None of these Blumhouse, none of them folks who do the scary movies create new fucking genres.
No, you know how many times they did fucking Saw?
8. So
and guess what? The first Saw is still better than all 8 of them.
All 8 of them, right? So first of all, I separate Get Us Out as its own thing because it created like this idea of social commentary, horror, and like we are the monster, we are the boogeyman type thing. Like he created that. So let that just be. But if we're just gauging this in isolation, like a movie like this never could have came out 10 years ago.
No, absolutely not.
Right? Where a black director, EP, all black cast. Right. And I'm talking about black cast. I'm not talking about Michael Ealy. No offense.
No,
you're great. Michael Ealy
niggas.
And Halle Berry.
Yeah.
But traditionally, it would have been a very fair team. It would have been they would have cast Aisha and Stephen Curry and their family for this role.
No, but it was some dark skin, chocolate.
Look, Aisha act? I thought she made cookies. What?
And that's one thing I can do. Dark chocolate.
And it was beautiful, right? You could see them, right? Because that's also the thing in horror movies. Horror movies be dark and we be disappearing in shadow. All you see is a white eye and teeth glowing.
Especially on the bootleg.
You be like, is that Lupita? All I see is her eye. Right? It was lit beautifully to show like their flawless, literally flawless complexion of everyone on the screen. So I'm here for that. But I'm gonna need you niggas to back off. What I will say, high level, everyone did excellent. Duke got on my nerves, and I'm telling him Duke. And actually, no, let me call him by his name. Abraham and Gabe got on my nerves. Duke did what he's supposed to do, and that was act. And I know black men are multifaceted. They are not a monolith.
Just like everybody.
But this man was so dizzy. He was so dizzy, honey. He was so dizzy. I wanted to tell, what's her name? Let me get their real names. I want to tell Adelaide to divorce him and to get with Abraham. Abraham ain't even talk. And for y'all don't know, Abraham y'all should know, is the opposite or the shadow, the tether of Gabe, who is Duke. Go get with Abraham, non-talking ass. Because if you want to get crazy.
Or you want to get crazy. What the
And it's the preview, so we're not giving nothing away. And when Adelaide was like, go get your shoes on. Did you think he was dizzy?
Yes.
Not dizzy. Dizzy. That was the old black folks say. Just as dizzy as the day. Just dizzy. And I never got when the old folks used to call people dizzy. But I get it now. Just think of somebody who just spins in circles. And then after they're done spinning, they just wobble all over the place. Just this dizzy. Like, even the kids thought he was dizzy. So, again, that goes to his acting. I pray to God this is not him in real life. I pray to God he's not acting himself. But I'm saying him and Lupita is from Yale School of Acting. So I'm saying is that they are actors. They are thespians. And he was just playing dizzy.
Right.
But I'm just not sure if the dizzy archetype of a black man was needed.
What type of archetype would you want?
Anyone but this. I think I liked his goofiness, right? I think we could have unpacked like the black dad and the black dad jokes. But it wasn't just black dad funny. He was dizzy. Like if he was a woman, he would have blonde hair. He was a dizzy blonde. He was like a stereotypical, he was a stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyes, ditzy white woman. But in a 6'4", 440-pound body.
Stupid.
Can we talk? Never mind. More about Duke. You don't cover your ears. It's for the ladies. Duke is thick. Ain't he with them thighs? Duke is a big nigga. Was he that big in Black Panther? I thought it was CGI. I said, okay, Duke. Duke is a big nigga. In a positive way. Like, he was appealing in the dad bod type of way. Like, he ain't have no six pack or nothing like that. But he was, like, he had some meat on him. It was a nice meat. This is the final time. You know, the white women love a dad bod. And I was like, I don't know what they be like these pot belly niggas for. I don't know. But I got it.
You got it.
When I seen Duke come on that screen, I said, he got a good dad bod.
Oh, you was like, y'all like it like that?
He got a good dad. I understand why the white women like them white men and dad bods. Because I like Duke Winston, his dad bod. He was just soft enough, but still firm. And big. I like a thicker neck. Y'all know I like a thicker neck and a Bigfoot. Y'all know that's what I prefer. So I will give him the props for that. It was a different type of eye candy, right? I don't think the movie would have hit the same if he was The Rock, right? Because The Rock has a thick neck, but The Rock is a rock, right?
Literally.
He wasn't serving that.
That nigga is a brick.
He just he run into, like, Rock couldn't have been in this movie because he could have killed a lot of people. Like, he was just just with his hands.
You want to be tethered?
Oh yeah, come on. He would have put out his WrestleMania move, his WWE move, and just start slacking niggas.
I'm under tethering all these motherfuckers.
We gonna tether. We gonna tether tonight, honey. We gonna tussle. Which made me say this movie also made me want to get in shape again. Because at the end of the world, honey, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of the fights I could have won, but not all of them.
That's why I get prepared.
Because some of the tether was doing some real acrobatic moves.
Yeah, they were.
And I was like, oh, they would have got me. Like, it was moves. I was like, oh, I would have got them. I was like, oh, that would have been a point where I died. But let's get to Lupita. God damn it. If this, I'm going to call her a bitch out of love. If this bitch don't act with a K. When I tell you Lupita was acting, she took it back to when she was in 12 Years a Slave and was begging for soap.
Oh.
She made us remember who the fuck she was. Y'all remember when Lupita came out 12 Years a Slave and was begging for soap? She was begging for that soap so bad I could smell her.
They have smell-o-vision. Stupid.
She gave us that in Us. Okay? Because she's played two characters and she just didn't play them casually. When she changed that voice. How'd she do that voice? And then her face. I thought they had prosthetics.
No.
I said, oh, she just moved her mouth like that. Said, give her the money.
Give her the money.
Give her the money.
All the money.
Give her the awards. She outdid everyone in that movie.
Yeah, she carried that movie.
She was just polite. And let other people have shine. And although I love the Brown Babies, they did their thing. Lupita, it was the Lupita show, and everybody else was welcome to it.
It was Lupita's movie. written, directed, and EP by Jordan Peele. Period.
But I'm not mad about it. This was a horror movie for Black women. I was here for it. What else are we going to say? The babies I enjoyed.
Yeah.
That daughter, I think her name is Wright or something. Chandra Wright or something like that. I want to try to get the baby's names right. Did it.
Well.
She did it. They were acting, and that young boy did his thing too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even the white people did good. You know, I usually don't get them shut up.
That was a great movie.
It was good.
And y'all niggas hating.
They were hating because the thing was there were themes to it. So it was lots of things. If you're going there expecting just a slasher movie, that's
this
not
ain't that.
what it is. Like, it's a lot more.
This movie gonna make you think.
It's a think. And he's also, if you're also the type who like your movies buttoned up with a bow, this ain't for you.
This ain't
either.
it.
Like, if you the type of like, why is this happening? What is the origin? You're not gonna get none of that. You're not going to get answers to all the questions you have. I'm hoping he did that intentionally because there could be a part 2 or some type of... I'm hoping this is a universe he's creating, honestly. That would be hot.
Oh, like Stephen King?
Yeah, like this is kind of the universe, right? And maybe we'll get another slice of another horror, right? With the tether slightly attached to, like... I'm hoping he's creating a whole universe.
I'm going to tell you this. This movie left me with my mouth wide open.
Yeah.
Like, when it ended, I was mind fucked.
Yeah.
So be prepared. If you ain't seen it yet, be prepared to be mind fucked.
Yeah.
At the end.
And that because you're not going to get all the endings, right? You're going to get the ending. You're like, oh, shit. Well, what about... And then here come the credits.
Because you're gonna be trying to put 2 and 2 together afterwards.
You think it's going to be a after credit scene and he's done?
No.
See you in a few years, maybe when I come back out.
Could that be the thing? That's the thing right there. Like, you be trying to put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, but this and that. And what about this and that and that?
And what about this now?
And then what about the crossover? You be like, oh, shit. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's just credits. And then, it's something about, I guess he requested this because you sit in the dark a little bit longer than what you usually do. Sometimes the credits roll and then the lights come on. No, the credits roll and it still be dark. Yeah. And then it'll sit there for about 10 seconds and then they come on.
The lights come on. He said, now you niggas is dismissed. I'll see you in 18 months.
Because you literally just sitting in the dark like, what the hell?
Yeah. So I think it was good. And I get the critiques of other folks, right? You go to some horror movies and they're tying up every little piece, right? Like they're telling you every origin story, how everything moved. And that's not necessarily something that happened here.
No, not at all.
I think that's enough. And I think we did enough without giving it away. But I think overall, just the themes of America, yourself, it's super reflective. It's a reflective movie. Yes. And finding where do you find in that piece. This
is America in movie format.
Oh my God. Bye.
I'm for real.
Even the sound score was really good. Though. The sound score did really good. Like it was some pieces where they played with music or the idea how they played with fight scenes. I'm thinking of the scene Lupita did, the fight scene they did.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've seen a couple movies like that, but I don't think I've seen it in horror necessarily.
No, like the way it was choreographed. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think that was a little bit, and she did that. Jesus.
Loops. Give her money and her awards.
I need her to. Yeah, it's about time for her to go ahead and get in the whatchamacallit. Let's line her up. Let's do some more because she's showing us that she can do all genres. We got some other stuff going on near rooms.
Loops then did Black Panther. She became a superhero.
She a black woman, so she already won.
All right, so you want to talk about? I just seen this and I thought it was probably the good. No, that ain't the one I was looking for.
In Living Color?
Yeah, I was talking about In Living Color. Like how they're doing this, how they're reuniting for the 25th anniversary at Tribeca Film Festival.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
With, like everybody? Like Jim Carrey? Yeah.
I think most of them was going to be there. And I think it's pretty exciting. I would love to see like a In Living Color reboot.
How would they do that?
It don't have to be them. They can EP
Oh,
it.
do you mean it was just maybe every once in a while one of the original ones pop in, or they, like you said, they're EPing or directing, and it's like young and upcoming. I think that's what Nick Cannon tried to do.
What Wildin' Out?
Wildin' Out. I'm trying to stay. I'm on a positive trajectory of black people. Wildin' Out can be problematic sometimes. Or maybe I shouldn't say Wildin' Out. Some of the people he brings on there.
So Keenen Iron Wayans was there, Sean Wayans, Kim Wayans, Kim Wayans.
They sleep on Kim. I would love to see Kim EP it.
Tommy Davidson, David Alegria, Rosie Perez, Jim Carrey.
And Rosie just danced.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say just danced. She was dancing.
They didn't have J-Lo there though.
I almost was shady. J-Lo and what's her man name? The very rich
A-Rod, baby.
The very rich A-Rod. Who's not only on for baseball, but is a huge venture capitalist right now. So much that he got a seat on Shark Tank. God, J-Lo, write a book. J-Lo do not play with you niggas when it comes to getting men and getting married too.
Sure don't.
Good for her.
Because she be having a stable.
Not only that, but niggas lined up.
A stable of niggas.
Lined up.
From Diddy to Mark Anthony.
Giving her the world.
To A-Rod.
Because she deserved it.
And the thing is, she got her own money.
And got her own. I hope she ain't never spent her money in 20 years.
She got her own money.
I hope she ain't brought out her wallet once. That every month she got to call and be like, yeah, it's still active. I'm just not withdrawing on it. My nigga got money. What? Because she's smart. Mm-hmm. She's a business. We ain't gonna talk about her clothing line, all them perfumes she got. You folks love a good perfume. I don't buy no celebrity perfume. Mm-mm. And I didn't realize how big of a industry that was.
It's a very big industry.
I said, y'all be buying Paris Hilton and Lady Gaga perfume.
I don't know why.
I know I wasn't doing Lady Gaga came out with some black perfume. I said, I ain't gonna mess up my clothes.
With that damn dye
on it.
I don't know about that because I only buy one brand.
Exactly, me too. I haven't really came. I like to. Never mind. That's one area I like to compartmentalize a little bit. Sense. But good for them. I love it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
One more thing. I know we got to get into some pillow talk. Can we talk a little bit about this Little Ma?
Little Ma? Who is that?
I'm sorry. That's a Young Ma. That's a Little Ma. I combine what I'm calling Young Ma.
Who is Young Ma?
Yeah, what was this girl name?
You know Young Ma?
So her name's not Ma.
No, it got two periods there. M.A.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about this story. Young M.A. and the king of the Gollywots, Kodak Black. Mm-hmm. So to just summarize, I guess, he was trolling. He has some very suggestive lyrics talking about what he gonna do to Young Ma, and as long as she got a coochie, and using some words that he don't have no business using because he's not a part of the community. And I think Little Ma was letting it fly, and then Kodak Gollywog continued his. If y'all don't know what a gollywog is, Google it. Continued his tirade, and Young M.A. was like, "Hold on, nigga, stay in your lane, right?" I just wanted to bring this up just briefly because I think this is a bigger trend, right? This is bigger than Kodak Black and his problematic ass, right? But I think this is a conversation of black men, and I'm gonna say it, right, and their treatment of like lesbian, like black women who identify as lesbian, right? Does that make sense, right? If a woman, first of all, for the woman to go to the I don't want to say trouble, but to say I'm out, I'm lesbian, not bisexual, I'm really not interested in niggas sexually or in romantic relationships. And then for niggas to be so disrespectful to think their penis has the power to convert her like she's like to Jesus.
Yeah, because they ain't had the right dick.
Right? It's just a level of disrespect that is just becoming a thing to me. And as a black woman in support and as an ally and advocate of LGBTQ women of color, I just got to say something. And I just want to be like, yes, these gollywots are out of place. And it's disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. And I think that's a form of harassment and disrespect that we don't talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. Right? Young M.A. says she do not like you niggas. Leave her alone. Don't slide in the DM and don't get me wrong, they're not sliding in there casually. They're not asking to go out and get Starbucks macchiatos, right? Macchiatos. They're talking about like aggressive and egregious sexual, like, nigga, that's inappropriate. That is a form of sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. And do fucking better. And that, again, is bigger than Gollywog, King of Gollywogs, right? It's bigger than him. This is a black man thing, right? And as I think back to some of my prior experience, like even undergrads, you hear niggas talk, and they'll say things casually like this. And it's like, that shit ain't okay. You can't talk to people like that, right? That's not acceptable dialogue. And me as a straight woman, right, as a cis woman, let me use my words, right? Let me use my whole vocabulary. As a cis woman, I need to check them niggas. To be like, hey, red flag to me. You think you want any type of coochie, you're off my list now too, nigga. You just disqualifying all of, like, what, Amanda Seals, you're off my agenda.
Damn.
Right? And I think that's the type of camaraderie us as women, we gonna have to do. Because if not, niggas is gonna continue forward in this type of behavior, and it's not acceptable. I just had to say that piece. Y'all let me know if I'm overreaching. LGBTQ community, let me know if I'm stepping out of line and I'm not supposed to step in there. But when I seen that, it was just like...
But this shit ain't new.
Stay in your lane.
This shit ain't new, though.
Yeah.
It's just, He gollywog with a bunch of followers. Niggas do this shit every damn day.
Yeah. But why is that okay? Like, where, in your experience, like, where do niggas even come to, like, yeah, this, and it be out women. It's not even women where it's like, well, I didn't know, like, how she identified, right? I was just shooting my shot, right? Because, you know, some niggas be like, oh, I was just shooting my shot. I didn't know.
No.
It's women who explicitly be like, I don't like dick. So leave me alone.
It right? goes back to fetishizing. It reminds me of that. What was that? My Family or My Fiance? Is that the name of that show on?
Oh, Friend or Fiance. Yeah. Or Family or Fiance.
Family or Fiance. But dude was like, old girl was like, but you know I'm openly bisexual. And you told me you like girls who like girls. He's like, yeah, but not my wife. Oh. So, you know, that's the type. Standard. So, you know, it goes back to that shit. Like, yeah, you know, this is the shit you fetishize about. You know, we can fuck and we can do whatever we want. But, you know, she ain't going to be no wifey material. And I think it goes back to that.
Women, no matter what. Yeah. No matter what. Sexual orientation, nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
You got a vagina? He got a penis?
That's what he asked.
Yeah.
As long as you disrespectful motherfucker. What the hell do you think she got? Do you think she got a kin part? What do you have? Since we're calling out parts, let's see what you got. Let's see what you're working with.
Then, never mind.
Jesus. I don't know. It just, and I don't have to have a long conversation about it, but it bothered me.
It's stupid nigga shit.
It bothered me.
It's stupid nigga shit, but hell, you using a dildo. What's the difference?
Shut up.
I can use my dick.
A lot.
You just ain't had the right dick.
Stupid.
That's how they be.
And they think they this is magical. Oh my God. I don't know. It bothered me. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts on it, but it just bothered me, and I think it's a broader theme in our community than just Kodak Yellow or whatever, Black or whatever he is, whatever that is, and I'm surprised young M.A. was that calm about it. Right, like she shot back, right? But she could have got a whole lot more upset, and I would have been right behind her, like, "Yes, sis, keep going."
But that's the thing, right? Like,
keep going. Like, I don't see it happening the other way around. Gay men, like straight women, ain't like, or actually, maybe we do it, right? I think we come at men who identify as gay, but it's not the level of this disrespect. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the thing. It's a level. I've definitely had like straight girlfriends like go to gay guys like, "Man, you fine as hell," like. Hey, I feel like it's almost like sir, if you ever change your mind.
You can have all this.
Right. Where this nigga, I'm going to eat your pussy. Wait a minute. It's just a line that's crossed, right? Mm-hmm. It's a line beyond. He ain't come at her to be like, hello, young M.A., I think you're a beautiful woman. And if you ever would consider, that wasn't the conversation. No. Let's do a little kitchen table talk and close this on out there.
All right. Mm-hmm. As always, for Kitchen Table Talk, shoot us the email at blacklovematters@gmail.com. That's blacklovematters@gmail.com. That's Black One Okay. This is from Nisha from Friday.
Yes. Homeschooling.
Homeschooling. So she said, onto a serious question, Nyambi, I need your advice. What are your thoughts on homeschooling? I have an issue with the environment the school is providing. It is not cultivating to our culture. They did nothing, absolutely nothing for Black History Month. The school district did a combined event at the high school, but nothing at their particular school. I want to shape and mold my son into what God called him to be. The school system is turning our children into robots that digest and regurgitate information without character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think we answered a little on Friday, but I'm not against homeschooling. Like, I think homeschooling is beneficial. Honestly, I think all Black parents should do some form of homeschooling of their children. If you're in a Black school or white school, right? I just think
and if you can't do homeschool, I think Montessori too.
It might, like some type of. I think just the regular going to school is not enough, right? And I think you have to gauge on the type of schooling your kid is getting, right, on where the gaps you need to fill in, right? So if your child goes to a school that's very culturally competent, very aware of the arts, right, you might have to do a little bit more learning when it comes to math, sciences, just to get that balance, right? But if you're more of a math, science, tech-focused school, A plus B equals C, you might have to get more of that history influence. But my honest thought is that every Black parent needs to be doing some type of supplementary instruction at home.
Mm-hmm. You need to do like the Asians and take their ass to Saturday and Sunday school.
Period. So So I'm team that. What I would say, like, it's a difference between doing supplementary instruction, though, and going all the way homeschool, right? So what I would do is, like, really, really look at that curriculum and break it down. And before you do that, right, before you go all the way homeschool, because you pay tax dollars, I would go into, I need to speak to your manager mode. I know that sounds crazy, right? But you can hold that school accountable for some stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So I would go there, and every time they see me walk in that building, the principal and the teachers would know my name, and the superintendent would know my name too. Yeah. Right. That is an issue that you can absolutely take up with the principal, the teachers, and the superintendent. Right, for some change to be made. Right. And the thing is, I'm sure you're not the only parent that thinks that way. So it might be a good time for you to collaborate with the parent teacher group, or I don't know, PTA, whatever it's called, like, to move that forward, because something else needs to be done. Another thing to do is, I don't know if there's other brown parents or like-minded parents that you have. Maybe y'all getting together and not you taking all that weight alone.
Yeah.
Right? So see if there's a way that y'all can, maybe on weekends, Saturdays, or afternoons, kind of divide up the stuff y'all want to teach them. Because what I'm hearing is they're missing, like, the cultural competency, navigating, like, I don't want to call it soft skills, right? But navigating the world, interpersonal skills, like those types of things, right?
And I think the main thing is most schools missing out on it, because it's not a focus now. Because
it's about test taking now.
Yeah, everything is about quantifying and test taking. So, like, all those soft skills,
not necessarily getting.
You're not getting it. And truthfully, I won't say that's the most important thing, but I would say that's up there. Yeah. Like, these kids are missing out on a lot of soft skills, like how to talk to somebody, like how to look somebody in the eye, hell, just how to shake somebody's hand, right?
Or balance a check. But some of these niggas don't even know how to write a check or balance a check because they've never seen it. They only see the debit card. Right.
So, like, even like these type of soft skills, right? That I feel like all the schools, most of the public schools, are like failing that because they're too busy trying to get test scores up, and
because that's dependent on state funding, right? Like, all that stuff is a system tied into it. So that's what I would say, start off like with that, right? To make it feasible, right? Because at minimum, they should be getting like their math, science. They should be getting that from the school. Yeah. And don't do it alone, right? Like, I think it goes back to being, like, you don't have to be this lone wolf, right? Form your community of support. Form your gathering. Also, see if there's any, like, community organizations, or look at some of the colleges. Believe it or not, a lot of the colleges have, like, these prep programs at, like, the Minority Student Services. Like, they have different, I'm thinking about, like, trios, like the Gear Up.
Gear Up College Day.
Right, and they're the ones who are helping and mentoring students from within these schools.
KCP, what was it? King
Chavez Park.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called now. It might not be called KCP no more.
Yeah, like those types of programs, I think will be super beneficial to help do. Because the thing is, sis, I'm not against you not doing homeschooling, but know if you take over homeschooling your kid, that is a full-time job. And I'm not sure what that looks like if you have another full-time job on top of that. Right? Like, because you really need to dedicate 5 to 7 hours a day to this child, be it from lesson planning, doing work, like that. It is a job. And it's not that you can't do it, but I'm just not sure how your finances set up, or your time, or your allocation. If you have it, do it, of course.
If you got it, it ain't tricking, you got it.
Do it. But I think there's other ways to get to that, right? What you're trying to do, right? Through going through the K through 12, through getting into the King Chavez Parks, other programs affiliated with universities. A lot of the Divine Nine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Greeks too.
The Greeks, the black sororities, AKAs, Alphas, Deltas, Zetas, Sigmas, the Omegas have a lot of these college.
Even Masonic, like the Prince of Masonic,
and Eastern Stars have these programs for our brown babies to help gear them, because a lot of those folks who are in these organizations are educators, right? The links, right? So I would say there's areas of community that you can tie into before you take it all on your own. And that still doesn't take away that when you come home for a half an hour each day, that you're going to be with your child, right? You teaching them Black history, or they're reading a book. I remember my mom used to have me read books, and I had to submit book reports to my mom. Like, that type of stuff still needs to go on. But I would say, if you do choose to do homeschooling, again, even if you have the time, space, and resources, do not go out it alone. It has to be a national organization for Black homeschoolers. Get into it, join the Facebook group, get connected, get your resources in order first. I think my biggest thing is don't do it alone, and don't feel as if you have to do this alone, right? We talk about it takes a village to raise a child. Don't feel as if you are the only one that has to do this, right? Ask for help, use your community, connect other folks. That's what I said.
Right. Who's your super overly pro-Black friends?
Yeah, exactly. Just let them talk, right? You might not even have to do no listen. Go on to Auntie Keisha's house. She got some stories to tell, and we know our pro-Black friends always got a story to tell about the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. And if that don't work, you know what will? Roots. Eyes on the Prize.
Right. PBS is great. Right. Like it's stuff
all
that
the
you
PBS
can do.
documentaries on.
It's so many books to read. Right. Like it's so many things. But I would argue it's so many community organizations out there too. And push back on that school. Like I know it's hard and it might not change for your babies. Right. But the idea is as we move forward, we reach back. Yeah. Right. So for your babies, it might not change. But the complaint that you filed with the principal, the teachers, and the Board of Education, when the next person files a complaint, you now have a history of it. Right. Because that's the biggest thing here. What is the history? What is the paperwork? But if no one files at least a complaint, there is no history. There is no paper trail for this. So I would say even just start there. File a fucking complaint. Yeah. File a complaint, ask to talk to the principal, and get an appointment with the superintendent. I bet they'll be like, oh. Because the whites do it what?
They do it all the time.
Because I know, let me go to the right neighborhood. The superintendent going to know who. Nyambi.
I would just like to form it. Like,
we don't got to do no trial or error.
Right. I just want to.
Formal.
I just want this to be on record.
What I tell y'all about having shit on record. Because when you really get to it, right, and you start getting the law involved, them lawyers, they ask for those records.
Right. So I just want to have this on record.
And that I sometimes make them more nervous.
Yeah.
Do you need me to do? No, just want to file a formal complaint.
Just want to file. Because sometimes they be like, I don't want to file no formal complaint.
Oh,
no.
well, you're not going to file a formal complaint. I need to see X, Y, and Z.
Right.
If you're not going to do that, I need a formal complaint file.
Right. Because sometimes like they be stuttering shit. Why you want to file a formal complaint? Because I do. I don't want no changes from y'all right now.
I don't need no meetings. I don't. No meetings. I have no expectations.
No town halls. No. I just want to file a formal complaint. Let's write this out, please. And thank you. And I want a copy.
So like it's a lot of ways to do it, right? I think Naram talked about the elephant. How do you eat an elephant bite by bite? And I think that's what it is. And like I said, you doing that, I ain't gonna lie to you, it probably won't have an effect on your babies, but I guarantee it would do some positive for some more brown babies who's coming up the pipeline.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's creating a team, a generation, a legacy of we ain't the ones to be fucked.
And if you know any other black mamas and daddies
at that school, that's what I'm saying. That you don't need me to be on a black mama committee. How about you filing? Oh, we filing complaints? Look, this is me on the phone. Look.
Yep.
Do it.
Right.
Child, you might get you your program.
Right. They do Black History Month in July.
No, what's the one in England? I think Black History Month is in October overseas. Look, not as Black History Month, all the Black History Month. You're just not the one to be fucked with, right? Because guess what, sis? I bet they ain't miss Halloween.
Or St. Patrick's Day.
Come on.
Or Valentine's Day.
Come on, they didn't miss any of that, did they?
Right. Or President's Day.
Let us know if you need help before fleshing out this complaint.
Go ahead and draft up something.
Yeah.
We're proofreading.
Close us out, Nero.
As always, to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com. To submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk, shoot us an email, blacklovematters@gmail.com. That's Black Love with no K. To leave a comment about anything that we talked about, head on over to that website. We got that SoundCloud, and we also got that voicemail, and that's at 508-784-1111. That's 508-784-1111. Talk to y'all later. Remember,
love is ever evolving.
Peace.